So the last, you can see that what they have repeated this Shanno, Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha. And there is only slight difference in the meaning. And in my book, I think there was a little, thoda sa gadbad hua isme. Maybe it was like a printing thing. And the one that should be here is in my book on 108. And the only difference with that is that in the first ones, that 2 times it came in there, Om Shanno Mitra, it talked about, hey, Satyam Vadishyami, Ritam Vadishyami. And then it is supposed to say, Ritam Vadisham, Satyam Vadisham. I have declared the good, I have declared which the Satya, which has protected me. If you see the Swamiji's commentary, that's what it is. So that's the difference, because, hey, why did they repeat it in the end? In the beginning, they are saying, I am going to declare the Satya. I am going to declare Rutam. And now say, I have already declared and that has protected me already. Something like that, just to get that idea. So we will go actually to the beginning of the thing to see the meaning and all that. I don't know where in your books it is. Mine, it says page 11. If somebody, beginning when they say Om Shanno Mitra, where is it?
Page 134.
Okay. 134 you said?
Yeah.
Oh, Meena ji shaking her head. Is it something different?
136.
Okay. Chalo, 130. Sabki book alag alag hai. Maybe alag alag time pe print hua. So, let's just do the prayers. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we saw that this particular prayer, we saw the detailed meaning last time. This has come from Taittiriya. That Om Sahana Bhavatu. It's so important. And now we go to the Shanti part. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Bruhaspatihi Shanno Vishnu Rurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanma Vavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So just to kind of recap about everything, because this is a
Page they're talking about, it occurs 2-3 times.
2-3 times.
So the first one that you said, page 11, because I have the same, they should have a different page number.
So the reason I want to go to the first one, because there's a detailed explanation. Sorry?
End of the book.
No, end of the book. To, hey, this has appeared 3-4 times. That's why it is so important. And whenever you finish some spiritual text, they tell you to go and read the first one. And then a lot of you attended later on after I started. And then some of these whole picture of who this Mitra, Varuna, Aryarma and all this, we studied a little bit of it in our Vibhuti Yoga and putting everything together. That's why I thought we will end with like this. So I would like you guys to go to the beginning of the chapter 1, because we are going to read Swamiji's commentary from there, even though it appears many times. That's what it is. Okay. So just to kind of go back and recap everything, he's saying Om, everybody knows, is that symbol of that Brahman. Whole Upanishad is on it. And Sham is like a auspiciousness, like that, something. Huh? Let's go to the word meaning first, and then we will go. So the Sanskrit word meaning is there in your books. Om is the Om. Okay, Sham is propitious or something auspicious. Na is to us. Mitraha, we will see the deeper meaning of Mitra Devata, controller of day and pranas. Job description is big, very big, and we will see other job description. Again, Sham is propitious or auspicious. Varuna, we have heard of it Actually, Varun Devta is Pani ke Devta, but he's also controller of night, and Apana, Pran Apan. So Apan, when you throw the breath out, uska controller. Sham is again propitious. Na is to us. Bhavatu. Maybe. May this happen. So wish. Ayarma, controller of eyes and sun's orb. He's one of the Adityas actually, Ayarma. We'll see the more deeper meaning. Sham is again propitious. Na is to us. Indraha, controller of strength and arms. So Indriyon ka Raja bhi. There's a double meaning. Devtaon ka Raja, Indriyon ka Raja. So controller. Bruhaspati, we saw Bruhaspati, right? But controller of speech and intellect. Because obviously he is a guru. Sham is propitious again. Na is to us. Vishnu. And Vishnu ko controller of feet bataya gaya. How did that happen? Because the next word, Urukramaha, the all-pervading, and that whole story of Vaman Avatar, where Vishnu Bhagwan came as Vaman Avatar, और 3 पग में उन्होंने पूरी ब्रह्मांड नाप लिया पूरा, धरती वो सब, long stride. So that's why he became the Devta of our legs. Namaha is salutation again. Brahmane. Now he's saluting to that Brahman. And Nama salutation. Te is unto. Vayo. Vayu, that we already know Vayu. But here it is more referring to the Prana Vayu when we breathe in. Why? Tvam, to whom, eva, alone, pratyaksha, perceivable Brahma. That is a life-giving. In the plants, animals, and humans, life-giving is that Vayu. And because it is life-giving, as though we are perceiving Brahman. That's why. It's coming from there. So that's what they're talking about. Asi is Tvam, thou. Eva is alone. Pratyaksham, again perceivable. Brahma is Brahman. Vadishyami, I shall declare. Ritam, the right, controller of right. So there is one Satyam and what is Ritam. Ritam is more application of Satya in the world. That's what it is. So controller of right. Vadishyami, I shall declare. Satyam, the good. And the Satyam usually is, जिसको dharma भी बोलते हैं, good. And then उसका जब execution होता है, वो Ritam बन जाता है. Controller of the good. Vadishyami, I shall declare. Tat is that. Mam, me. Avatu, may protect. So now we say, Sahana Bhavatu, protect me. Now you know where the word is coming, Bhavatu. Tat is that. Vaktaram, we know the Vakta means the speaker, means here the teacher. Avatu, may protect. That Brahman or that Vayu should protect my teacher. Avatu, protect me, student, mom. Avatu again may protect Vaktaram, the speaker. Double bar repeat kiya hai for the, hey, may we be protected. Bhagwan, please do this. Kai baar usko bola like that. So those are the word meaning. Let's go a little more in detail. It's very interesting. Whoever forgot or maybe revising or who never heard it. So Mitra, he's saying Om Shanno Mitra. Mitra should bless me. So Mitra we know, friend. But what is this deity? So it's like a job description. You have the president and then he gives the power to other people. A different department. He's the head, but he gets the power from the government or the constitution, whichever. I think maybe that's a better analogy. Constitution gives you the power to go do this, go do that. So here Mitra ko एक deity और एक entity है, उसका job description क्या है? It represents the harmony, friendship and the day. So day में ही harmony और friendship चलता है ना. So job description is kind of big. Whenever you join a company, they don't give you just one fixed thing. Go do this. There'll be a long job description. Especially if you get paid more. You got to do many. And sometimes in some smaller companies, you got to be the janitor and the boss both. So the job description is big. So iska Mitra ka kya job description hai? It is a symbol of social order and gentleness also. That is all of that arena is of the Mitra. And Varuna is, Gurudev says, a cosmic law and moral order is Varuna. So on one hand, it is a deity of the water, but लाइक जो कार्मिक फल वगैरह देता है ना, उसको ओवरसी वो करता है. वैसे तो इट इज एन ऑन ऑटो मीन्स जैसा कर्म किया वैसा फल मिलेगा, पर उसको भी उसके भी एक बॉस है, देख रहा है सब कुछ चल रहा है कि नहीं ठीक ठाक, कुछ वायरस वगैरह तो नहीं आ गया उसमें. मोरल ऑर्डर, दैट्स वरुणा. सो ही इज एसोसिएटेड विद नाइट एंड वाटर्स, वी नो दैट. And it's like unseen judge of actions. Sometimes some result come and we say, hey, how did this happen? I didn't do this. Hey, you may have done something in a previous life and all that. Varuna knows everything. So that's how you have to see. Okay. So this, if we say Mitra and Varuna, together they represent balance between external harmony and internal moral responsibilities. So that's how we analyze this Mitra and Varuna. Means these saints and sages, they have looked at every aspect of everything. So that's what it's a great thing over here. And Shanno, we saw that means well-being, peace, auspiciousness. We are hoping for that. The Rishi Munis are invoking peace and protection for the natural and the cosmic forces, both seen and unseen, and inner realms and all that. And Ayarma, we have seen Ayarma before. ये थोड़ा complicated है, because हमने जो देखा था Ayarma, after we die, he is in charge of the path that we take to the Swargaloka or something. बोलते हैं ना, transportation का boss था वो, but उसके अलावा और भी उसके कई काम हैं. He is a deity of nobility, values and social contracts. And I didn't know this, but after I learned from here that marriage and family also. And it seems that he's invoked in the marriage vows. हम लोग को मालूम भी नहीं है, because हम लोग की जब शादी हुई तो वो पंडित ने कुछ संस्कृत में कुछ बोला और हम लोग ने बस सुन लिया, and we don't know anything. But it seems that they invoke Ayarma because he's like a witness over there of your marriage. And then of course we saw that in Bhagavad Gita also, ancestral world. After death also, he takes care of us. So I was just saying that we should not be scared, after we die, what will happen? Ayarma will take care of us. We'll make sure that wherever we need to reach, we will reach. Okay. So, and then coming back to Ayarma, he's one of the Adityas, son of Aditi and Kashyap, if somebody is interested in Puranic stories. And then he's also considered like a companion or a close friend. That's why, it's like that. It's some job description kind of flow into each other also. And, it says that he governs customs and hospitality, social order, those kind of thing, I thought that was very interesting. So that's what they are invoking, Mitra, Varuna, and Ayarma. Hey, keep everything in harmony, bless us, auspiciousness around it. How beautiful they made it, right? And then comes Channo, Indra, Brihaspati. So Indra is, we know, kings of God. He represents power, energy and courage. Because अपनी इंद्रियों को भी कंट्रोल करने के लिए हम लोग को ये सब चाहिए. Indra is इंद्रियों से भी वो symbolic. Basically, power needed to overcome inner enemies like desire, anger, frustration, all those kind of things. So that's what he's saying, that they also, Indra also blesses. Then Brihaspati, we saw who perceptor of gods. And what does he symbolize? Wisdom, speech, and divine knowledge. So we saw that. These are the things that he does. We are invoking that. So together, Indra and Brihaspati, we are invoking strength and wisdom for spiritual and worldly life. Both. Both are important. And then Vishnu, we should bless us with the wide stride Vishnu. A specific cheese bataiye yahan par. Bless us with peace. And because, why did he say wide? There are several meanings. One is that he's pervader of the entire universe, sustainer of the universe. Uska job hai, every corner of the universe is functioning properly, and whatever somebody needs, a problem hua. That's why Vishnu avatar they call it. Krishna and all that. Vishnu avatar, because that's what it is. And that word I was saying, Urutkrama, is wide stride, it means. And then it seems that they call it Trivikram form. The one with 3 long strides. The different names are there of him. And so what does it symbol? If you go in symbolism, it symbolizes expansion of consciousness and cosmic protection. Those are the symbols. Pervading principle is another symbol in this, of course. We talked about that. So, as we know in Vedanta, we have studied enough now in Vedanta that this is not separate from God, but manifestation of the same Brahman. So when we see these deities, so sometimes, you say, hey, why do you kind of worry about the deities? Why don't you straight go to Brahman? But sometimes, for the worldly things, we need to go to the right department too. सब खुश रहे, सब शांत रहे, सब, so it's okay. As long as we know they are representing the Brahman. That's the most important thing. So what are we doing here? Invoking the Shakti, means divine energies we are invoking for the student and teacher so that they can pursue this knowledge, the Atma Gyan, properly. How much insight they had. So after doing all this stuff, Namo Brahmane, he says, salutation to the Brahman. Now he comes to the Brahman. But now Brahman is all pervading, formless, and how do I connect to the Brahman? Right? That's where then he comes about saying that about Vayu. So basically Brahman is here not just the deity but the ultimate reality. That this class knows very well now. So not only just eternal truth, it is eternal truth from which everything arises and which everything dissolves. We saw that, right? In Taittiriya Upanishad, that the definition of Brahman is from where everything comes, sustains, and dissolves. Or even we saw in Bhagavad Gita, in the Vibhuti, Bhagwan said that. That's a very important thing. That's what we're talking about, Brahman. So this prayer acknowledges that all knowledge originates from Brahman only. And basically it's a surrender to that also. Respectful invocation, you can say. So now coming to Vayu, Namaste Vayu is saying, salutations to Vayu, the vital air. So what the Vayu represents here is the prana, the life force that sustains all the beings, including plants, animals, and humans, no matter where they manifest in the universe, all of that. Tomeva pratyaksham brahmasi usko bola, that you alone are the direct perceptible Brahman. That's what is a pratyaksham. And he's saying that, what is the word? Tvameva pratyaksham brahma vadishyami, means I shall declare that you alone are that perceptible Brahman. So what does it mean? That among all aspects of nature, the pranavayu is directly felt as a breath. We cannot live without it. That's why there are so many meditations, they start with focus on the breath. There is a lot more deeper meaning, because without that we cannot survive either. Firstly, it brings you in the present because it's happening right here with us, but it is directly as a breath. So what they are talking about is that invisible infinite reality, Brahman, can be experienced directly very intimately through breath. That's why they said Vayu. ऐसे नहीं बोल दिया उन्होंने Vayu Pratyaksham Brahma. There's a lot behind it. So beautiful. So what does Shankaracharya ji say about it? That is the immediate experience of Brahman is Vayu. Manifestation of the in the phenomenal world. And this world, if you're looking for Brahman, this is it for you. Immediate and tangible manifestation. That's something you can relate to. Because what the problem is, we cannot see Brahman with our eyes. So that's why this is so important, And this is what sustains. We saw that. So that's what they are saluting to this perceptible Brahman form, And then another way of explaining what Shankaracharya ji came up with this, that it's a sensory thing. Usually we say, no, Brahman cannot be grasped by senses. We have heard it so many, imperceptible. So Rishi Munis made it easier for us. Hey, look at your own breath. It's a divinity. Without that, you cannot survive. It's coming from Brahman and you can perceive it. You can hear it. You can depend on it. You can feel it and imagine. Because if अगर एकदम कमरा शांत हो तो अपनी सांस की भी आवाज आती है कि नहीं? You hear it. All the senses can see it. So every moment also, not just one time. So that was so important. So what basically, how do we infer from this? That the students are taught to recognize Brahman in the tangible, in the manifest form, before they are guided to the formless, infinite form of Brahman. Because if you directly tell them, they won't understand anything. You start this journey this way. That's why this verse, this Shanti part is so important. So it's a stepping stone, a method, pratyaksha. Oops, sorry. Okay, I this went through my. I turned off my phone for calls, but it went through anyway. Sorry about that. Okay, so where were we? Stepping stone. Yeah. So basically, main thing we have to understand is Shankaracharya ji is saying that to us, that we are not saying that air is Brahman, it's the ultimate Brahman, but it's a method, that something you understand and then you go to the bigger picture. So when they say, oh, Vayu is Brahman, it's a manifestation of that. That's how we have to look at it. Huh?
Umaji, that's the only thing. Otherwise, space is subtler than that. That's the only thing where we can perceive it.
Yes.
That's the first thing of that from Brahman.
So true. Because and the significance of it. Because the other elements in our body, 2 दिन तक खाना नहीं मिलेगा, we can live. 1 दिन तक पानी नहीं मिलेगा, we can live, or whatever. I don't know the exact scientific thing, and each person is different. Some people can stay hungry for a week and they'll be okay. They'll be doing everything. But saas, unless you are a kind of a yogi who can control his breath and go in some samadhi and all that, we're not talking about that. Average person like us, 5 minutes तक सांस नहीं आया तो बिना पासपोर्ट वीजा के ऊपर पहुंच जाएंगे. 5 मिनट भी बहुत है, right? Yeah. 2 minutes. Some people can hold their breath. I don't know how long, 1 minute, 2 minutes, but we know what I'm talking about. That's the beauty, that how they so scientifically they picked it, right? So scientifically they picked it. So this is where you move, see this and move inward and recognize imperceptible Brahman, Nirgun Brahman. Start with the Sagun and then go. I thought that was such a beautiful thing. And then, so this is the significance of the Vayu. Then it says Satyam Vadishyami. That means I shall speak the truth. Factual things. Unchanging truth. उसमें मसाला वसाला लगा के नहीं है, अपना सब लगा के नहीं, जो खुद है वही. That is Satyam. And so it's saying that Ritam Vadishyami. So Satyam is like a literal truth, what is. And Ritam means the deeper ethical truth, what should be, how I apply that in my real life. The Satyam, which keeps the harmony. Because even when say, such bolo, or, say that, oh, that dress looks so bad on you. Because I'm telling the truth. Hey, that kind of truth is not necessary. It should be priyam vada, something important. You're saying it unnecessarily. So that becomes Ritam. How to use that Satyam so that it is correct also. So, and Shankaracharya ji said, when you say Satyam, we already talked about it, with facts, not lying or distorting reality. That's not Satyam. And then Ritam is like, the harmonious law that governs the universe. Application of it, of that Satyam. There are several, it's a whole topic, and I think I had gone before, so I don't want to go too much into it, but just to get the picture. So that's why I'm saying Ritam and Satyam, both are important. And the student of Vedas must uphold both. So correct facts and righteous purpose. That's what the blend of it that we see. And then Shankaracharya ji's insight into it is that Vedas are preserved only when the students' words and life are in accordance with Ritam and Satyam. Both are necessary to uphold the Vedas. Only one is not going to do it. That's what it means, Ritam and Satyam. So he's saying in the beginning of the thing, I am going to declare the truth, I am going to declare the Rutam. And in the end, mein jab wo prayer karta hai na, to he said, I have already declared the truth, I have already declared the Rutam. Huh? And so the last part is that Tanma Avatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu. So Tad means that. That is that Brahman, or you can say Vayu also. Both. You can take whichever one you want, or you can take both. Protect me. Okay. So that supreme reality should protect me from what? From harm, ignorance, and obstacles. These are the three problems that can come. Protect your body, senses, mind, everything. That's the prayer. These prayers are so profound prayers. It's not like, please give me this, please do this to Bhagwan. That's not. It's like so deep. So protect the speaker, the teacher, and the Vaktaram Avatu, and protect the student also. Protection also was from inner obstacle in the path of knowledge. And what are the inner obstacle? Some crazy sunshine, doubts might come. Hey, this doesn't seem right. How can this be? And all that, those kind of things. You need a guru, teacher, or saints and sages. Or it can be negligence. I'm not pursuing my studies, being lazy. Wrong understanding is the worst kind of thing. All these maybe protect me from all these. These are the obstacles, And the outside obstacle can be what? Sickness, calamity, social conflict. That's why they say Shanti 3 times also that we saw. So blessings are invoked both ways. That's what it is. Why? Because the success of the teacher and student are intertwined. और ऐसा नहीं कि एक ही के दोनों को, because they are like एक thread होती है ना, उसके 2 छोर हैं वो दोनों, teacher and student, because they are together trying to come up with their truth. They need cooperation from each other. And then Madhvacharya ji had another insight that it said that it includes not only safety but guidance also, protection in correct knowledge. And we saw that even Shankaracharya ji said something like that, shielding from wrong philosophies. We saw the wrong philosophy se kitna zyada nuksan hota hai. And all this caste system that one is trying to suppress the other, and all these are all wrong philosophies. That's not what Krishna Bhagavan was saying. So that's what this verse is about. And there was somewhere I saw the very simple explanation. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Simple meaning, for children, but this is very good. May the gods who protect the world like Mitra and Varuna bless us with peace. May we have strength, wisdom, and goodness. May our hearts be calm and our minds ready to learn. We respect the divine. We will speak only what is true and right. May the divine protect both the teacher and the student. So these are a very simple thing. And the final thing before I close, let all the good powers of nature be on our side, right? All the powers of nature. Let us learn with peace and respect. Let us always speak the truth, and may our study help us know the highest truth, Brahman. So that is, before we even go into the next Upanishad, this is what it is. So, I think the Swamiji's commentary, you guys can read at home, whoever has the book, because the time is over. With God's grace, we will start the next Upanishad next week. Whoever has it, very good. Whoever wants it, I completely ran out of the copies, and they didn't have it at Chinmaya Mission, but I already ordered. I told them to get me more. So who doesn't have it, let me know, and I will keep one copy, and I will try to give you whenever you. Yeah, Ansuya ji, I'll get one copy for you. So just you can text me directly also.
Umaji, one for me also, please.
Okay, so right now it's Neelu ji, Sneha, and Ansuya ji. And so.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. 3.
And you have one for me, right, Umaji?
Yeah, I know that I won't be able to give it until next month, right? So I'll get it for you.
But
Okay, and I'll get 1 or 2 extra just in case. I will
just
get it.
give it to
Yeah.
Meena ji, and
Yes.
she's going to pass on hers to.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no problem. Whoever wants it, I'll definitely get it for them. Okay. All right, so I'll close it over here. Any other question, comment before I close? Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Everybody have a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.